Beth just left Harrisburg, so if we can get the minutes and all that kind of stuff.
She's secretary.
Oh, yeah, we need somebody to take. Would you care to take somebody on mine to take notes? You know, that is here. If that's all right, we'll go ahead and get started. Because, thank you, going. Okay. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. That's all right with everybody. Beth will be joining us here in just a little bit, but, we'll get through a couple of things here before she does join us. Thank everybody for coming out for the way. See, we'll start off, let's do, we'll wait for staff introductions till Beth gets here. No, not everybody knows Beth, everybody knows them, but let's start because the new employees don't know the board members don't know the minutes, so Barry, once you start, once you go around. Very well, Gina.
Jennifer Van, I'm board member. I'm Shelby Frederick, and I'm the new 4-H program assistant.
Sarah Boyle, I'm one of the 4-H agents. Caitlin Francis, I'm the second 4-H agent. Hannah, sorry, I just got married 3 months ago, and I'm almost like Hannah Sturgill, I am your new SES agent. All right. Caitlin Farley, horticulture agent. Rita Stewart, your area extension director. Casey Gordon, ag and natural resources agent.
Harry Rice, facility manager.
Mark Newell, I'm your treasurer. Spencer Glenn, the board chair, farmer here in town.
Jay Emmitsburger, county director.
Joey Bottom, county judge.
We're good. All right. That's good.
On the minutes, should we wait until Beth gets here? Or we could, if you all want to look at the minutes that are in your packet there, we can look at those. And then if you have any questions, we'll wait until Beth gets here or maybe move on to the treasurer report. That's totally out of line.
That answers part of your question, Barry. Yes. I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes.
Second.
I'll second.
Second, we accept the minutes as presented. Motion made and seconded now. Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? Passes.
Second.
Mark, if it's all right with you, we'll move on to your previous one.
Yeah, we'll start with one that says, that's a big number one up here, since May 31st, 2022. Almost been a whole lot of time on May, we have things coming right behind it, but, if you look at the little number one, the total for the cash balance for the district is $6,410,121.53. That's spread off a main checking account, farm tax bank, a money market account, Wealth South, and 5 CDs. The little number two, previously we had an overpayment on the credit card, and that's why the negative balance in previous periods. We've got that rectified, so we'll just back to zero. Number three is overpayment on sales tax. I'll take a scenario, see where we're at on it. It's $39.20. On the back, little number four, that's the only debt that the district has. That is your payable bonds payable. We just made the interest payment for June 2026 a few months ago. That was the only thing I added. The page with big number three at the top, Just run down it pretty quick, well, number one, your tax revenue for May, it was $81,887.76. You earned interest of $11,019.04. 3 and 4, your typical cleaning services, mowing, all that stuff, exterminating, typical month bills. MSO two is your 4-H special programs, it does look a little high, it's at $12,421.32. But it did contain that $12,000 for support for the education field 4-H. So that's what it stated. On the back of that page, rule number 6, in May, the audit bill came in at $5,500, several thousand cheaper than our previous auditor. The rule number 7, that's the bank fee, that is your wealth allocation for the money market account. I didn't want to, rule number 8, that's your building improvements, that's part of the roof project that we, have taken on several months. But I think it was built to, and then the HVAC, Tom Jerry, the Military Hall, build, we had 2 bills there. Rule number 9 is just the entertainment I referred to, for, we paid it in May, goes for June of 2026. Page 6 through 9 is your check detail. That's all the checks that were written in the month of May. So you can use that. Past that, you have your reconciliation reports. The first one you'll see is the main checking account. Everything's fine. We have a few outstanding checks from last fiscal year. We'll get cleared out. But other than that, everything's fine. The wealth side account, you gained $8,098.34 in interest in May and paid fees $973.54. Going through 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 are your CDs. There's $250,000 each. And as of every month, there's nothing really new with when they pay out at the end of the period. So it'll always be $250 or $250,000. You need to approve month on month.
Yeah, I would put that in probably.
Okay. But I'll be too far along for you.
That's okay. We'll go ahead and look at it, since we'll do back a month here, so any questions or discussion on May as presented tonight? If not, I would entertain the motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to improve the base.
Motion made, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion, questions for Mark, or move to the next one? Yeah. Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed.
Yeah, I'll move on to June. I'll spend a little more time on this one, the most recent at the end of the fiscal year. The one that has to be page 1, a little number 1, bank account for the end of the fiscal year, we're setting at $6,326,179.17. Again, that's spread across the farmers main checking, well south money market, and the 5 CDs. I do want to point out, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on it, but I do want to point out rule number 2 and rule number 3. In previous years, you'll notice that there was an accounts receivable and accounts payable adjustment made. Typically, at the end of the year, at the end of the fiscal year, there are accruals that basically services have been rendered in June. The bill comes out in July, so they bring it back at the previous year. For whatever reason this year, UK decided not to do the entry and just take it straight to the expense and cash accounts. And I'll get into the difference here in a minute on the back page. And then below number 5, instructions that take it dead. The one with the big page 3, so basically, that's the end of the year procedural difference. And so what normally happens is you accrue the expense, which goes into your accounts payable and your expense, and then in July, you pay the cash out and it comes out of your AP. What they done this time, they took it straight to the expense accounts, which is fine for the income statement, it doesn't take anything. But for the balance sheet, it takes it straight out of your bank account. Instead of showing it as an accounts payable, so your bank account will be understated. Now, it might not be an issue, but if the auditor were to pick that up, they would make note of it, because it is a procedural difference and not quite accurate. And they request why we backdated checks from July that you, instead of the journal entry. And at the end of the day, what can happen is they can decide that it's immaterial, it don't matter, and just like not do anything about it. If we continue doing the same procedure moving forward, they can recommend issue with internal controls and recommend that we do go back to the appropriate procedure. Or if they decide it is material, then they can make us do a audit entry, and if we refuse to do that entry, then they would give us a modified opinion, which basically would pass. So at the end of the day, if they do find it and they tell us about it and we make the adjustment, then it'll be kosher, it'll be fine moving forward, but you will have a fine, potential fine there. Now, materiality is set by the audit. So at the end of the day, if it was $30,000, that comes out about 1.3% of your total cash balance. Or, sorry, the main check, you have about 0.4% of your total cash. So it could be an issue, it may not be an issue, I just want to bring it to your attention, but at this point, that's something that you guys elected to do, books are closed. And that's where we're at. So I just want to make you all aware of it. So, moving on to statement activity, the big number 4 in the upper right. Below number 1 is your tax revenue for the month of June 2026 at $35,901.67. Below number 2 is your interest earned at $15,739.24. Your little number 3, your special services, continues to be your cleaning services and mowing services. On the back page, little number 4, as supplies, that's market is a little higher than usual, but, $15,807, it was just a lot of end of year supplies. So it was purchased. The little number 5 on the next page is just a, board expense refund from a previous period. The little number 6 is bank fees, the West South money market fees. The little number 7 represents the roof again, that is payment number 3, and should be the final payment on that. Fine. So that should be good. Pages 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 are your check fees. The 15 are check fees up to June. Every June you're gonna have way more checks written at the end of this year, so we're not, again, that's why you have like pages there. Pages 1 through 3 are your reconciliation for your foreign tax vacation account. Again, all the issues with you, old sales tax, we'll get through that. The big page 4, well, money market, you gain $12,729.71 in interest, and pay $977.92 in fees. Pages 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are your CD reconciliations. They still remain at $250,000, just like the previous months. So I can take any questions on the financials, any questions on the end of year comment, any additional concerns or things that may be pertinent.
So at this point on the end of the year discussion there on page 3, there's nothing that we could do from a board standpoint or your end, there's nothing that can be done directly by that, correct?
As far as I know, the books are closed now, whether they can be reopened, I don't know. That would not be my decision. And as far as correcting it now, that would be my decision. What is it? EBO.
Extension business operations.
So I did express my concerns earlier in the week. I did receive a response back, but it was too soon to get anything taken care of. I can't respond back to him and express why I think it's incorrect. That's all I can do.
And I can also talk with that team that does what people.
So as you know, years past, we've had the ADA already. And the response I got was that we didn't perform it. But I don't know if that's the case. But another thing is wrong as far as the amount of cash that's here. The income statement is perfectly accurate. The amount of cash as far as in the system is fine. It's just all the savings themselves gets misrepresented. So I don't want anybody to be concerned that something's missing. It is all there. It's just that the dollar picks up, a savings while you're 30,000 below the state. So that's all it'll be. Okay.
When you get to that year end, you're in a time frame to try to get your June statements in and get everything paid by a deadline.
So usually you take like 10 days a month or something like that. If you create the APAR, that's where you do it, and that's why the transaction be there. Like right now, what it looks like, this up here is all what it looks like is that we wrote a check in July. Then we went to their QuickBooks and changed that date from July back to June 30, and back, which you cannot do in the previous fiscal year. That's why they currently there to prevent that. Because bad actors out there, they can backdate checks anytime they want. And it's like, oh, tax guy says, oh, $100, if you're on backdate this expense factor now, they're owe. And so that's why you have to have that cutoff. There has to be a clear cutoff between fiscal years. And that's where that June 30 comes in. So.
Any other questions from anybody else? A motion to approve the June report minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the. Financial report.
Second.
Second, let's go. All those in favor of approving the budget, as presented, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I got one last thing for you guys, as you're aware, for several years now, we've been working to pay down the cable debt. One of the bonds, Security First Bank, actually done a maturity mark on the 14th, so we will need to vote on what to do with that one. Currently, that was yielding us 3.9% interest. I read it out to Wells South, and as of earlier this week, the two options that we had was with UBS Bank and American Bank. They came in at 4.30% and 4.35%. And so the difference there, I had to get two options because as you guys, some of you are aware, some may not be, the rule on the CAECO bonds is that you have to have 10 years where you pay them off. We took them out December 2019, so that we'll be able to pay them off in December 2029. Well, one of the bonds matures on August 13th, 2029, which is about 4 months before we can pay it off. The other one matures 2 months after the date that we can pay it off. The 2 months after gives you 0.05% more interest. So I just want to make you aware that was an option if you want to choose that. But you don't have to do it one, I just go by the plan we had had to run up to the date to pay off the debt. And then below it, just as a update, I'd like to give you guys, currently we owe 3.72 million. Years ago, I think it's back in 21, I can get the date exactly. We had $1 million in Compass Capital, that debt pay down. We have $1 million allocated Well South for pay down. We have, principal payments due for 26, 27, 28, 29 before we can pay for it. And so by the time we get there, we should have a little less than $1 million remaining on the principal. So I just want to make you aware, there's already enough in the account here that you could pay it off at that time if it hadn't been allocated. So you can get shape. At the end of the day, I just need to know what you'd like to do with the bond debt. Sure.
Well, we need to remember that when we do the budget, we can put it in that 10-year plan. The 5 and 10-year plan out there will pay that. Pay that off.
I'd say you'll have more than the last budget. Feel pretty confident.
So do we need to make a decision tonight on what to do with this when it matures?
Yeah, and what he told me was these are the two as of Tuesday. Now, they may not be there tomorrow, but it'll be something around the 4.3% range.
Okay.
So it could be 4.25, it could be 4.4, you know, it could vary a little day to day, but that's the two of the bill as of Tuesday.
Just, we need a motion to let Mark.
Give a range.
Just do the rollover.
Yeah.
The good news is every one of them in the future is higher than what you're getting now, especially with the way everything's went, they take the interest rate decline off the table, and they're talking about it very high. So that affects CD rates. So the higher the interest rate, the more money you back on your CDs, which is why you're seeing the 4.3 instead of 3.8. So they're already reflecting it in the, you've seen the target.
What do you all think on that?
You know what, I'm Jay, that Mark, the highest rate we can get. We do there.
Does he want the highest rate within X number of months of the payoff? Kind of better. Cause I mean, I can go, you know, that is, if I can 6 months past it, the interest rate's gonna be higher potentially. I mean, it has to get a time frame too. So you just wait, when you want it, and then the interest rate range.
So, what would you recommend having more out? Take it to,
Well, in my personal opinion, I think we already have enough excess funds there, so I was thinking on have to pay for 2030, get the extra interest, and then we have enough, my opinion, but enough excess funds, even if we want to pay off the sale, we can. If we want to wait till February, then we'll wait till funds. That's not bad.
The normal payments due in June of every month.
We make two payments, so in December, we make a principal and interest payment, and then in June, we make an interest only payment.
I see.
So in essence, we make a December payment, well, it's just, you want to pay it off, or the two window, yeah. Now, I can go back and look, the bond interest rate was like 2 or 3%, I think. So you'd be gaining more than you're losing, even if you pay the extra 2 months of interest. Okay. You want to look at it, that's it.
No penalty for paying early.
Not once it's past 10 years. That was the issue, we could have paid it off years ago.
Okay.
They go to,
I think we just, I'd like to have Mark roll over to the next, I guess February would be the next time frame then.
yeah. And we lay not to the CD, you'll fall back that money. It's just that you'll be at 3.62% instead of 4.3, but it'll be more free, we'll be locked in. CD's locked in to 2030.
In February, let it mature in February, and then we'll just carry it with a little extra interest. Be about percent again.
Yeah,
Come on.
Nothing much to do in February and roll over. How's that?
For a second.
I'll second.
So I'm just gonna go over that day. What all those come to. Take the thing and.
Okay, well, I think you can stop.
Okay, have you taken over now?
What you can do is send me what you have, the best thing what you have, and all, we can put them together.
Okay.
The EBS is the mature till 29, right? I thought it was, there was one up here, Security First Bank.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
what
we're
I'm talking about.
Right.
So Security First Bank and then
Valley National.
Valley National Bank, are the two we're talking about?
Just security.
Okay.
We can't do anything with the valve until it's.
So,
Yeah,
okay, so you're gonna, so the motion is to allow Mark to renew Security First Bank into a CD, correct?
It just rolled over into
It is a CD, just roll that.
Just
CD.
roll it over. Okay.
That will mature in February of 2020,
Nine.
no, 2030.
2030,
Yeah, it'd be February 23rd.
with American Bank. Yeah, American Bank,
Okay.
potentially.
Mark, look back up. Yeah, there's one there.
Looks like about 2.95.
Okay, oh,
Sorry, that's a number of songs.
a little bit over, yeah, more than we'll be back in, dealing again. I know we've had a lot of discussions, make sure everybody's on the same page here, so what we're talking about then is the very first, one there under certificate of deposit for Security First Bank. We're just gonna roll that over, because that matures, tomorrow. So we'll roll that over to a new CD, that will be in that, 4.3 range, plus or minus a little bit, depending on what the rates are, at the time he locks it. And it will mature February 23rd. So that's the motion that we have right now on the floor. Is that right? Let's say right, Mark?
Yes.
All right, so, the total labor, is there any questions on that or any other concerns? Okay, all those in favor of approving the motion, signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Any opposed?
And I'll need the, minutes.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do.
I don't care if you do.
There we go.
Let's cover this.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to Jay and Rita, if everybody's got a handout there, we're gonna talk about that, we'll do the rest of the agenda. It's all.
Rita and I received an email just right prior to this meeting that, Ms. Kinsey Heisel has resigned from the board. So, her term is not up until December of 2027. So Ms. Trilling is, gonna have to nominate, or not nominate, but, appoint somebody. So you might tell us what we need to do. Do we need to come up with 2 or 3 names to present to you?
You can, what was her area
FCS.
of SES? Okay. So maybe, come up with 2, 3 names from FCS. Remember,
Okay,
and we look at that and
time frame as soon as,
this,
So it's up.
yeah.
okay.
If you all have anything, to get it to the right people, and do it from there. We'll move on to the next item then, talk about the budget amendment, turn it over back over to Jay and Rita. You know what, Rita?
Thanks, Jay. So we'll try to keep this really, simple without complicating it, but if you all have questions, please do ask. In your packet of materials, if you all could find just a couple of things, I think it might be helpful. You should have a copy of the budget amendment. And you should also have a copy of our memorandum of agreement. Yeah, on that one. No, actually, we will have your right on there. Yes. You should have a copy of the memorandum of agreement. And you should have a copy of the amended schedule of disbursements. Those are the 3 things that go along with the budget amendment. So you should have those. The other piece of paper that I think will be extremely helpful actually is part of our discussion for a year-end actual. So that is the one with the Kentucky logo on the top. And that is our Department of Local Government summary. That would really help to illustrate exactly where we took money from and where we moved it to. So let me start by saying this is not an overall budget amendment. You all, so the district board in the office did not spend more money than what was budgeted. Okay, so technically this is a line items transfer budget amendment. And what we basically did, we were over, when we got all of our year ends figured out, you were over in capital outlay. And that's because of all the repairs on the roof and the other things. And we thought that a lot of those invoices were gonna come in after July 1, but they actually came in a little bit before then. So that made that parent group capital outlay, it made it about a little bit less than $82,000 over budget. So what we did, and it illustrates it so well on the DLG summary sheet, you'll see where we moved $82,000 into capital outlay to cover those expenses that were over, and we moved that from operations. So we basically just took in a line item transfer budget amendment, we basically just took money from one group to another group to make it balance out, because your overall expenditures were not exceeding the amount that was budgeted. And that's kind of what threw us into that, was just the repairs to the roof and everything. So that's basically in a nutshell, your budget amendment. It did not change the memorandum of agreement whatsoever with you, Kate, but we wanted to share that with you. The same is true for your schedule of disbursements. Because just being over in capital outlay did not impact what you had sent to UK or need to send to the university, if that makes sense. So we just want you to see those 2 pages because those are the 3 pages that we'll have to sign off on tonight for this line items transfer budget amendment. When Jay and I had a discussion with our EBO, our Extension Business Operations person, and one of the key phrases that now Jay and I have is properly managed. So by moving these around, we have kind of managed your overall so that we're within limits on all of those different categories of appropriations. So any questions that you guys have about the budget amendments? Like I said, it's basically a line item transfer amendment. But it was necessary for us to do that because we were so over in the line.
So was it from the roof repairs or was it from the flooding of the road?
All guys,
It's all, it ever been with Tom and Jerry and trash improvement, it was 99% those 2 entities. And like Rita said, we kind of thought that part of those expenses would fall into this year's budget. And it did, it all came last year. And so it ended up, that category ended up being $82,000 over what we budgeted. But like Rita said, we were able to go up in operations and pull some properly managed funds, unused funds, and pull them down to capital outlay. So we didn't have to dip into reserves, or we didn't change the bottom line, didn't change the overall income or loss statement. It was just a move within categories. So that's why we're saying the line item. Yeah.
and so you guys said a budget first, after you see you don't get 95%. So you said 5% budget, you're not over overall. So
I think it was like, what, 96,000, so remember.
yeah, $97,839. So you still had 5% overall. There's just a lot, I would look at that.
After the change. You're saying we're still that.
The change did not change, the change did not change that number.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, your bottom line was a little bit.
Yeah, it did,
we
it
still
did not
had
change.
left. We just needed to move some of the around within the different categories. So we would, we'll be happy to answer any questions you have about that, and we would need a motion to make those changes.
But to officially do that. Yeah. Any questions from anybody? Is there a motion to approve the line item transfer budget amendment that's been presented to us tonight?
I'll make that one.
Second.
I'll send it.
Second, thank you. All right. All those in favor of approving, the line item transfer, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Yes.
So Spencer, now that you all have approved that, I will make sure that these entered into your DLG SPG portal. Yes.
Okay. We're going to sign it, and I'll use it. Okay. Yeah, three minutes. Oh, 3 minutes. We're doing it now, and I'm not sure that, before you while we're doing it. I don't know if you want to do that. Okay. Next item of business, we'll move on to the year financial action versus budget.
Can we do this, Jay?
Go ahead, drum roll, go ahead.
Okay. So you'll have 3 pieces of information in here. These are your year-end actuals. That was, you have a 4-page document that looks like this. It says year-end actuals on it. It does reflect at the top that you do have a budget, amendment change. And, you'll notice that everything is balanced out, it is totally reflective of that. So that part, should be good. That one does have to be signed off on. We also have a budget versus actual for the fiscal year. It is fiscal year 26 OBGP. We also have a statement of financial position that just kind of summarizes, we just went into QDL around his report. But this just reflects pretty much what Mark was talking about. For example, this has all of your expenses, everything listed for the year. If you look at page 3, you'll notice 3 months from the very bottom, your total expenditures, and that's what we were talking about a while ago. You still have a little over $97,000 that you budgeted for, but that you did not spend. So everything that we talked about on the budget amendment did not impact your bottom line, and you were not over what you had budgeted for the entire year. So, everything, should be okay on that budget versus actuals. And then you also have a statement of financial position. So pretty detailed, this is for the, as of June 30th, 2026, the end of your fiscal year. You have your, assets listed there, all of your bank accounts and CDs, and those things are listed there. You also have your, current assets, whether that be your buildings, equipment, vehicles, all of those are spelled out, which is that's a pretty amazingly great detailed list there, so thank you. So on the first page, your total for assets is listed on the bottom of that page, and then if you flip it over, we talk about our liabilities, which there's not a whole lot of that. So the bottom line is your total liabilities and equity as of June 30th, 2026, a little over 13 million, considering everything that you have. So, and of course, we already looked at the DLG summary, which also provides you some year and actual as well. So at the end of the year, yeah, we had some repairs that we hadn't planned on, and some unexpected expenses that really weren't budgeted, but that happened. But like Mark said, you guys are in great shape. At the end of the year, you still have money left that you budgeted. So, Jay, anything you can think of that about year end? Do you all have any questions that Mark would probably answer for us?
Well, basically what that shows is that, basically go back to that statement of properly managed, we stayed within budget. We came in under budget, which is a good thing.
Y'all have any questions that we need to answer? If you don't, I'm just gonna say you do have a copy of our offset voucher. This is a generated form for us, which is great because back in the day, we used to have to remember what went into each of these 3 categories. This is used by a department at the university, and it basically takes all of your expenses and it categorizes those into 3 different groups. So it's just a piece of paper, but it is one that you all do have to sign off on, so we wanted to share that with you. So, but everything that's on here is presented another way on the other papers that we looked at.
So we need a motion to accept the
Yeah, please. I know that's a lot of stuff.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept it.
motion by Ben, is there a second?
I'll say.
Second, Barry.
Some people are still looking, it's like, any other questions for we move on? Have a vote? Hearing none, we'll vote on that motion to approve, as presented for the year-end financial actual versus budget. All those in favor of approving that motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed.
All right, actually, it's, I get to you. So next in your packet is the regulations that were sent to us. Look like this, or there's 3 different boxes. So the top one is the compensating rate, which comes to us as a lower rate than what we set last year. So what that tells us is that there was an increase in assessments. So I'll give you an idea of. So real property last year, we set at 0.08. Last year's personal property was set at 0.0986. Motor and watercraft, that stays the same. So these other numbers are all the same. So compensating rate in the end will generate about $2.3 million, which last year, with the tax rates that we presented last year, generated 2.2. So we're pretty much in line as to what we did last year. And as we just went over year-end actuals, budget over actuals, we were at 95%. So, to me, that's pretty good. I think we can live with that. Let me just there's what compensating plus 4%. It generates, about another $100,000. And you gotta jump through a lot of hoops to get that $100,000. Now, you can choose, not we, you can choose as a board to take compensating rates, or we can calculate if you want to go below compensating rate. But looking at our past budgets, that compensating rate puts us right in there. And I can go to fiscal court and say we've lowered our taxes again.
That's right.
So,
Any questions?
so in other words, just keep it at the rate that was last year.
No, the
No, this is compensating rate. So what compensating rate? So to explain it, compensating rate is a calculated rate to take into the effect of raising assets or lowering assets and keeping your income close to where it was last year, the previous year. That's what this compensating rate does. So we had an increase in assessments. So I kind of expected these rates to come down. Yeah.
So do they have the assessments done now, this coming year or not?
No, that's complete.
That's a question for Trilly.
This is all for 26. He just told us.
The calculations, in my opinion, or in my knowledge, is done off of current assessments that they are aware of. Now, later, there might be a raise in assessment, but we don't know what that number, that might be.
Now, you said the personal property rate last year was 0.0896.
0.0986.
86. Oh, okay.
Yes,
It's like 0.0986. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
0.0986, yeah.
thank you.
And the real property was an even 0.0800.
Hey, Jay, your all's real property assessments went up, a little over 116 million. So that's why your tax rate dropped.
That's, yeah. This figure right here last year was 2493. So almost 25. So roughly 100 million increase. Personal property changed, looks like
It was.
about 30 million on personal property.
Mhm.
So with these increasing, that's why our tax rate went down, to keep us at about the income level we had last year.
You said that actually, you said it later.
Any questions?
Said, you knew your success. It's all about the pre.
We're just looking at the budget that we set back in February, just so everybody's got a point of reference there. So what we budgeted for this fiscal year that started July 1 and goes through June 2027, we budgeted, $2,225,485.
Right.
So that, just so everybody knows, that's what the budget is set, for this upcoming, for the year that we're in now.
The compensate, but.
Say it one more time, please. 2 million.
2 million. Yeah, 2,225,485.
45, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't the 95,000 we have left over added to that number two?
You talking about this fiscal year?
Yes.
Now, it goes into your, capital outlay, like 10-year plan, but next year's budget's a standalone 12 months budget.
Okay.
So this year won't do anything with it. So right now, you've got your taxes coming in at 2.25 million, look like up there. And, you have a land purchase budget in, so it looks like you're gonna lose a little about 150 grand, but you're not.
See, that 2.2 doesn't take into account the interest income, and
Yeah,
there's like almost $200,000 worth of interest income.
the interest and UK reimbursement 200,000.
Which you probably won't get that much.
From the UK reimbursement. But the interest, well,
Interest you'll get,
we'll be pretty close to that.
and yes, because as your balance keeps growing, so is your interest. So the more you put in the money market, the more interest keeps going, it's just gonna compound.
And there was an assessment increase where last year we budgeted like 2.5 and we ended up with 2.9.
Yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
your compensating rate does not take into account interest growth.
Any new growth or any of the extra, this is just strictly tax income. This doesn't include the interest income and UK reimbursements or anything like that. What's the board want to do? Is there a motion to?
We don't think, y'all have any questions or discuss anything? Ready for a motion?
No, but I will abstain.
Okay, so we need a motion to that. To make a motion that we accept the compensating rate. for this next tax season.
And the minutes need to state the exact numbers.
The total, the gross income.
So real, yeah, so the motion is to accept real property at 0.0790.
Zero.
And personal property at 0.0951. Then motor vehicle. Watercraft. At 0.0130. There's gonna be the document, the other two as well. No, that we're good there. Just the tax rates. So we've got a motion that's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So the motion, the board votes, the motion is that the real property tax rate will be 0.0790. The personal property tax rate will be 0.0951. And the motor vehicle and watercraft tax rate will be 0.0130. The motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor of accepting that motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you.
Okay. You gotta do the optional taxes. Sorry. You want me to read?
Just get a motion to not take the optional.
So you guys have the option of taking, there's 3 optional taxes. There is aircraft, there is, in-transit inventory, and documented watercraft, non-competitive watercraft. And those are all optional taxes. And we have to have reflected in the minutes, if you want to take any of those optional taxes, and if so, which you want to take, or you do not want to take those optional taxes.
We have not taken them in the past.
Okay.
So you need a motion. I will make a motion that we not take any optional taxes.
I second.
Do we need to list what you said?
In the minutes, and I can provide you that.
Aircraft. It's these bottom 3. Aircraft, and what's the other 2?
Documented watercraft. And in-transit inventory.
Inventory, okay. All right, so we got a motion and a second, to not take levy any tax rate to those 3 items. All those in favor of approving that motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Passes. All right, anything else, tax rates, we're good. All right, okay. Auditor selection, move on to the next item of business here. So now that we have all the year-end stuff in, we can hire the auditor and let him start. Yeah, so last year we had Joe Montgomery, we were real pleased with him. Like we showed, we did it for almost $2,000 less than we had in the past. And he got stuff to us before that.
Probably 6 months ahead.
6 months. Right, and we're currently caught up, and we are currently caught up, and have turned all that. Yeah.
If you all are applying on it, you have to read us.
That may be a first.
It's personal.
So I guess the motion up for discussion then is, do we want to continue working with, sorry, I forgot the name.
Joe Montgomery.
Joe Montgomery, conduct this year's audit.
I would say we do the same thing I do. Unless you all have any issues and I didn't hear anything,
There was none.
I would make a motion that, we go ahead and offer contract to Joe McGinn.
Second.
All the service. And go with the Rangers company.
He was great to work with, it was, yeah.
So we got a motion made and seconded,
Second.
Australia to accept, or to approve that motion, accept that motion. All those in favor of continuing with the audit being performed by Mr. Montgomery, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes. All right, I will turn the floor over to Barry to talk about facility use requests.
We ended up not having the folks that want to do that, and not be able to make it, so I'm not worried about that one.
Right. Right, and, equipment repair requests.
All right, I've got a lot of them.
That's the rest of the whole.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah, there goes our budget.
First off, before we get into that, real quick, couple quick updates, the roofing project, 100% complete, it's been put to the test the last few weeks, for sure. Absolutely no issue, very pleased with the work they done, and, I think we're safe to move forward with repairing the drywall, which is one of the many quotes we had here. The sprinkler head that we had first, I think it was early June, in rooms 101 to 103. The only thing left in there, that room's been used, it's been put back together and, has been used for, a few weeks now. We just don't have audio video yet, that equipment that's left that we installed, should be done August 25th, and that will wrap that up. And every bit of that minus, the, I think it was $1,500 deductible was covered by it. So that's all we were out, and that went toward a replacement laptop because the one in there on the stage was destroyed.
But it was kind of interesting how all that worked. Barry and I got here, we called Keiko at 9 o'clock that night. Called Michelle, she was at a conference. And ServPro is the company that they are connected with, or offering. And she said, oh, the ServPro guy is sitting right here with me. And she took care of it. She took care of ServPro. We got a phone call from the regional guy, and he said, we'll be there within 2 hours. Very nice stuff around, they showed up. They went to sucking water out the door and all, they moved furniture and all that, and they made, very nice. I said, do you need us to stick around? They said, no, give us the key, we'll lock up and leave it. And that's what we did, and they were pretty good to work with, and
They're efficient.
all that, very good.
And Keiko's been great to work with. I mean, everybody at Serpro, all that has been great.
I'll just say, I appreciate all the updates you sent, Barry, I appreciate keeping us up to date on what's going on and letting us know about it too, so. Appreciate everybody's efforts on getting everything figured out and solved, so.
And the last update is the new ban that you all voted on a while back. It should, be done, sometime toward the end of this month or early September, ready for delivery, which is well ahead of what we originally thought it would be, so.
Very good. I'm sorry, what did you say?
The van.
Van. The van will be ready by early September. New van? Van.
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 That's your man.
Vehicle.
Oh,
You don't want my hair back.
No, my.
All right. If y'all ready, we'll move forward to the first quote, which is the, Tom Jerry's HVAC quote. It's for the second unit in the project room, the compressor is now ahead. And it's to replace the, compressor on the existing unit.
How is that unit?
Original to that building, so 2020.
6 years old. I guess that's well past it, yeah.
Yeah, commercial, unfortunately, commercial only gets a year warranty. So, yeah, outside of that.
All right, you want to do these one at a time?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got the presentation here of repairing the compressor for Tom and Jerry. Y'all have that in front of you. It's a total of $8,600. Entertain a motion to accept that, if you all feel led to do so.
Is there a threshold for getting multiple quotes? Or is it just whatever?
It's 30,000.
Yeah, for public, yeah, you know,
40,000.
Okay, so we've used it before though,
Oh,
right?
yes. All our resolutions.
I make a motion to approve the compressor.
Excuse me, motion made and seconded to approve Tom and Jerry for their conditional repairs. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
If you don't care, it's been as we go, early, we'll have the time, that way I can select, we have these. All right. Okay. We have an estimate from Shepherd Construction. This is regarding all the damage to all the areas from the roof leaks. That we had, there's a lot of area that has to be torn out completely. And redone, refinished, repainted, re-insulated. That's all that needs to be listed on, this estimate. It also includes, some work in the office that we have a problem with the wall. It's where the old building met the new. They're going to redo that and refinish that wall and repaint that off. And they have done work for us here in the past. They've done the conversion to the 2 offices, and have done great work. And when, you know, it says here, room protection, they do it. I've never seen a company that, you know, is clean and keeps all the dust down and makes it look like, you know, they've never been here before, so.
And that's what's separate to the next packet, correct?
Yes.
We're looking at the 28,000.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, to accept that.
I'll second.
Got a motion made and seconded on this case. Any question? All in favor of approving the motion? We've got this, quote, Shepherd Construction, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
It is thunder, the skies are black. When I was riding home, but
Yes.
everything else.
Right. Next, with Shepherd Construction, we have, and this is more of a matter of convenience and helping with programs and things of that nature. I don't know if you all remember, but down at the far end, there between the kitchen room 107 and the meeting room 107, there's no building. At all, there to divide that, it's basically just a open. And we've run into several cases where we have a cooking class, but they don't need the adjoining room beside of it. But I have to book that room because we can't separate and have separate programs going side by side because there's no way to divide that. And it just has a metal, these doors here, it's just a smooth frame. It's not actually made for a door frame, so it has to be taken out and replaced with a metal frame and matching with the same wood door and all the hardware and refinish the drywall around it, that type of thing. So that's what all this here consists of. And I can tell you, the price on that door, that's not what we paid for the other one, when we did that office conversion. These doors are unfortunately very expensive. So
And fireproof doors, is that the reason why?
they're fire rated, yeah, certain ones, especially,
Just a heavy wood door.
yeah,
Meeting room 107.
yeah.
Okay.
I never did understand why they didn't put a door there to begin with. But it's kind of hard to clean up with the meeting going on. And all that, so it'd be nice to have that door to shut that kitchen off.
And we've had that a lot, where I've had, that be the only other meeting room available. And I can't use it because we already have cooking class or that may be using the kitchen type thing, so. It kind of limits what we can do with that sometimes.
Is the contracting fee their labor?
I believe so, yeah.
That's the way, it's not often, it's late for less than period of so.
That's why I want to look at contracting.
Yeah.
I didn't see it on the other one, though,
There's not really a lot of labor to it.
but it's on there, it's $2,500 on the other one.
Tear out the old frame, put the new frame in, you're done.
Yeah,
It's all sure.
I'm just curious what they would charge contracting fee for. Pay them to the income up here,
Yeah. Yeah, but
But it seems like a lot to put in a door, but everything's expensive and price on everything keeps going up. And if it's something needed and it's something that's gonna be get better than what it is, then I'll make the motion to approve.
Looks like they do 9% on all their jobs. So 9% what they cost is.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'll second. Motion.
Okay, we got a motion made and seconded to approve the door addition. Demo of the existing door, or existing frame, and then replace it with the door and door frame for a total of $6,303, Shepherd Construction. All those in favor of approving that motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passed.
It's gonna be an hour, yeah.
Well, you're here.
Well, you're in the door.
All right, next we have multiple optional explanations for the address. Little complicated. We have 3 quotes from Dale Office Equipment. And you'll see I wrote at the top kind of where they are. And then we also have one statement packet here from Central Business Systems. And what I had them do, well, it runs into a problem, as you know, we're now fully staffed and growing, and basically we're running into a problem where we're all waiting in line at the copy. And especially when they're doing newsletters and packets that require the only unit in the main copy room, no one can really print it. If they need to do the printer, all these can wait, or where the case may be. So what we're trying to do, we're running into some outdated equipment as well that we own. We own all the equipment currently with Dale Equipment. We pay a service contract only on the main copier that we use in the copy room. Everything else, we just get paid for repairs, the ink, anything related to those other stuff. And I wanted to explore the options of, because we have one of the staff assistant printers that has some parts that are now discontinued. And I can't find anywhere, basically we have to replace the unit.
Go ahead, then.
Yeah, well, we're looking at with all that, both of these companies, but I had them quoted, and I had them to give you all as many options as possible. Leasing options for 24, 36, 48, and 60 months, also an outright purchase price. Option as well for all the equipment. And all this pricing on either which way we do this would include a service contract on all equipment, whether it's lease or purchase. That way, moving forward, we don't run into an issue with having to constantly pay out of pocket for repairs, cover the heat, all of that. One thing to keep in mind is Danloft's Equipment has offered a trade-in, that's what the discount is listed on all these pages. For the equipment we have now.
Which
And,
is what? Which is how many? Three printers?
it's the main copier, there's an old, I don't think what it's called. We don't use it anymore now that we have the new folding units that's attached to the copier.
Okay.
It's going away, there's an old black and white, non-network, copy only machine that we have, that would be going away. And then also 3 staff assistant printers, all that combined.
Printers.
Yeah, 5 pieces of equipment total.
For the 45,000?
Yes.
Okay.
They do not buy equipment back. So if we do not select them, we would have to find some way to, and the other company does not buy that equipment because they do not sell that equipment. So they would not be offering trade-in on it. So the other company, the Central Business System, they are the ones who handle our postage machine. And they do have, other extension offices that use their copiers. The one difference I will show you on here is they charge an overage, whereas Danloft Equipment does not. We pay so much per, copy of black and white, so much for color. Danloft Equipment will never merge, there is no limit, where we print per month, we're never gonna pay overage. Whereas with Central Business System, they do put a cap on it, and anything above that, they did not tell us what the overage cost would be, it just says overage cost per click applied. And again, they give you options on purchase and outright versus lease, and you'll see there's an email where he sent me all the breakdown, 24 months, 36, all the way up through 63 months. And again, same scenario would be service contract on all equipment.
But I'm curious as to compare machine to machine as far as, how the resolution, the sheet amount.
Basically, the person with some business system, I had them come in and look at everything we have now. And they gave us the most comparable, piece of equipment that they offer. Through Charlotte, which is the brand they carry. I told them I wanted to do all the same exact, functions as what we have now. Obviously, we're adding, on either option, we are adding one additional machine, which would be the one we're doing to take some of the load off the main copier and allow people to be able to print to it. That would go in the bullpen area in the middle of our office area. It would have all the same capabilities as the main copier, except the folding, because we don't need that. We can just do that at that time.
And can they print from their computer or laptop too?
Every one of these pieces of equipment will be networked.
on there.
Yeah. On either company there.
So do the printers that we have now, do they last 63 months?
The printer, the status system, two of the status system printers are 7 or 8 years old. The copier was purchased in, I don't know. The copier, the main copier was purchased in December of 2020.
6 years old.
So all that's.
Yeah. And it's still working fine, but it's reaching the point of, we may start running into some difficulties with finding parts.
It's getting to the end of life.
And,
It sure is.
so,
When it gets in, I've been there, when it gets in, live, you gotta work in there.
Just stops.
Horrible. Yeah.
So, but so even though it's a 6-year-old machine almost, they're still offering us $45,000 trade.
for all 5 pieces.
For everything.
That includes, 2 printers that are, these are not so small, these are pretty good size, printers.
They're all color.
Yes.
Okay.
And those 2 printers are, I would guess, at least 7 or 8 years old. I know they're older than the main copy. And then 2 of those other pieces of equipment are, I dare say, 15+ years old.
I know this afternoon I gave Bethany a couple of sheets from what is in your packet. I said, here, I need 12 copies of these, and she said, I'll do it until the machine says it can.
When you look at the total, the one central business systems, it comes up to like 46,000 versus 45,000. And I'll use DOE because it's local.
I'm all set.
Huh?
I didn't hear what you said.
When you told me this purchase price of 29,696, and then calculate what the service agreement would be for 63 months, it would come up to 46,000.
Okay.
And then the DOE was 45, correct?
There's not a lot of difference.
No,
Discounts.
it's not a lot of difference. And it boils down to local, I really support local.
And one thing I can tell you, the usage rate, if you look at the Danwell equipment, we currently have, let's see, here, black and white. Yeah, we're only, they've kept the, color exactly the same that we've had for the last several years. And the black and white went up, it's like about 15 cents. On the usage rate. But we've had that same rate for, well, since we bought the machine.
What's the discount? Think the
I've just done this on one for nine office equipment on their lease
Yeah,
option.
and then this one has the
But if we go to lease option rather than the purchase option,
So.
yes, a couple questions. Trade ins,
4,000.
we're just stuck with the old machines then, and we'll take them as a trade if we do lease.
The lease pricing with, it has the discount figured in. So in other words, the lease total, they took the discounts off of it and then here's what you're left with.
Okay,
So the amounts that are right here on the leases have your trade-in figured in.
okay.
But the total for
So
all
I was
three
wrong.
quotes in is 54,000.
Yeah, the 54,000 for DOE, and then when you look at the purchase price for central business. Let me do this again. That's a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
But their usage rate is higher. I don't know what that amounts to.
Well,
And they charge for overage.
Yeah,
They charge for us.
I can tell you right now, I don't know exact numbers, especially this year would not be an accurate, depiction of that because we've had such changes in the staffing and all that, but moving forward and in years past, I can tell you, I think we'll definitely go over what their cap is on. I don't know how much,
Right.
and we don't know how much they charge, but there will be an overdraft, I guarantee it, most months.
But that's an $8,000 difference between purchase, if you purchase it. Now, if you do the 63-month lease on central business, it's pretty much the same.
Now, I will say this with the lease versus buy. Is that if we reach the point where a piece of equipment is, you know,
Not working.
well, yes, we're having a lot of problems out of it. Or parts are not available anymore, it's starting, you know, the technology constantly changes.
Yep.
We won't be out of pocket a large amount of money to change that equipment. We would simply renew the lease with a new piece of
Look at the
equipment.
lease equipment.
So there's no, like at the end of the lease options there, we've got the different month terms. Is there a residual value to buy it out, or at the end of 60 months, you just trade it in and roll it into the next machine?
The way I understand it, what they told me is you would just roll it into, kind of like how, sort of kind of, this is now, as far as they would take the value, trading value. Yeah, deduct that from the total lease.
Just looking at DOE, the lease option, if you look at 60 months is probably a bit more. I mean, it's $8,000 more than the buyout option.
Yeah,
Even at 24 months, it's still 3,000 more.
How much did we budget on this?
Maybe budget for it.
Have we go down in your equipment purchases, and so we booked 30,000 a year,
30?
in equipment on that.
So we said 30,000 what we budgeted for the whole year for equipment purchase. So we blow the budget by 20.
My God.
We can all do budget.
Let me know.
Yeah.
You all properly and.
Yeah, 50,000.
I don't guess we.
What's that? Yeah, 50,000, that's about eight, it's just for overages.
Could we go with two printers? Would that help him? Instead of three? Well, I'm talking about just could decrease that to two, I mean, that's. I'm going to fine.
Does the extra one, the bullpen needs to be that big or? can we do
if you
this?
lease, though, if you lease these equipment, your outlay will not be as much. If you lease them,
The annual outlay won't be.
right,
Yeah,
right,
correct.
so it'll be within budget probably. If we did the lease,
We still have a little room.
which I'm almost wanting to plan, lean that way, because anything can go, this is a machine. Anything can go wrong with it, leases.
Have you had any experience with Sharp?
I have not, we've used, I mean, since I've worked here, we've had, they have lots of, equipment in Rico, which is the same brand right here. We're back with just the newer version.
Have any of the agents had any experience with Sharp computers,
From other offices or anything.
other offices or anything?
I don't think anyone had that.
I had a sharp calculator and. That's all.
I just never used Sharp, I've always used Rico, so. DOE. I don't know, I like to support local and the service, you know, they're there, they're quick, they're easy, if something does go wrong, but I know we're in the budget too, so.
Anybody have anything left if we look at like, say 36-month option, what it would be annually?
For recap for DOE,
For DOE. Good.
36 month on all of them.
36 month?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good around there. So that'd be $1,743.72 a month. So I mean, that's almost $20,924 annually.
10,000,
Yeah, almost.
And you did leave yourself a category, you had 50,000 in other category, under capital allocation, if you needed to quit.
Is there any other big projects?
You know, I mean, who knows? I don't, well, you'll see here in a minute, we are, but I think we had we had it in the budget already, set aside for the parking lot. Still with the stripes and the right, I don't know what line out that's.
Yeah.
Good, long term. Yeah. I mean, so we got 50,000 in that, right?
Yeah, we got 50,000 building improvement, 10,000 land. 60 total, 22.
We, down my stack here.
Have we decided that we're better off leasing instead of buying?
Well, we might be until next year's budget, we up the money.
Is there a buyout option? If we go to lease round, is there a buyout?
That I don't,
Or no,
Yeah.
just figure that out.
Deal with this new, owner. Got those.
No, this is a sign of job.
Well, house still works there, but
Okay.
new owners,
Okay.
got them how many more.
Gotcha.
what do we think? We have questions, we wanna push back, or we wanna make a decision tonight?
I think we need to make a decision.
How much of an urgent need is that?
We don't.
How urgent is the private need for the staff and agency?
I mean, it's, you know, what we have still works. I mean, it's just, it'll continue to be what it is. I mean, we're fully staffed now. And it's not a dire need. Let's put it like you all want to, revisit it, you know. We can.
Well, let's say, is there anything more pressing that we need?
The most pressing, I would say, is the one in the bullpen. To add one in the bullpen to.
Yeah. And that's something we can do.
That would be
It would be a backup. If this one was to. Fail, the only thing it wouldn't have would be a folding unit.
that's the 21,000.
Yeah, if you were to buy it out, or if you wanted to lease it, you would have a copier thing here that has a full service contract on it and you pay it with your money. So, up to you all, to keep the existing equipment and address those at a later date when.
Because that's an additional one, we're not really replacing one there, we're adding one to take some of the stress off of the one we're turning off.
What are we trading again?
Yeah, what are we turning on here that says includes trading?
Well, there is a printer back there, but it's not on the net, it's not on the network.
So I would be curious to know what your copier run looks like if you don't turn in the other one.
Oh,
Because there's no way that thing's sitting there worth $45,000. They're just trying to make their quote look good by getting it back.
And
And you
that's
own it.
all five piece of equipment.
So if you move that to the bulkhead and use the one you own as a discount, or as your secondary. And replace the one in the copier room,
You're gonna spend.
you're only buying one.
And you're like, the only way you're getting it at that price is if you turn in all 5 pieces of the other older equipment.
But I would be curious to see what they say if you don't turn in the big one.
I would say that'd be the bulk of your.
Yeah.
Because the other equipment is so far outdated and, not networkable, so. The only thing that be real, significant value will be the one that's in the main refinery room now, I would imagine.
So is that the same thing?
Like, that's what I think they're using, that discount as the turn in plus. We want your local business to.
And I wasn't here when that was purchased, I don't know what they paid for that copier. But
Was that the same thing as the quote on the bullpen? Because it is a discount too. And it says includes trade-in of equipment and it looks like there's 3.
yeah, one
pieces.
bullpen would have. So if.
Is that the same trade as on the copier room? I mean, is that the same pieces of equipment?
Yes. Yes, it's all the same equipment.
So some of that discount then, it's a package, yeah,
There,
they're just spreading it out on the 2 machines, yeah, is that what they're doing?
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do, yeah. If you start picking it out, it's gonna be that one machine's gonna end up costing 72,000 instead of 26.
And right now, we got the same trade pieces of equipment listed on both quotes.
yeah,
And then they're disposing of 1, 2, 3, 4, they're disposing of 4 pieces, removing 4 and disposing of all together. With no trading value assessed on both quotes, and they're the same 5 numbers.
because basically the only thing that be relative value to them is the big property that we own. And I think 1 or 2 of the, I guess one of the, newest printers of the 3. The others are so outdated and like I said, we're really going, I'm going there.
Do they have any used ones that don't have many copies on them, but they're just used or?
We could do that in the bullpen and leave everything else.
I did that one time in the clerk's office and just got a, used one that it didn't have very many copies on it.
Yeah.
And, I got it for like a whole lot less than that was used.
One thing I will have to do is that's the kind of brawl, so we got to look at all the equipment age and everything else. One of the printers with staff systems will have to be replaced, which I think it'll probably fall in probably under $25 or so, I guess. Well, let's see how much. 28. Yeah, I would have to, and that's the comparable printer to what they have now. I will have to replace it because the part script no longer exists. We're not using it currently. But I can definitely, if you all want to wait, I can see if they offer any used options, and if that goes over our, the amount we can do, then I'll bring it to you all next time we meet. You wanna do it?
Well, why don't we table this until the next meeting and let you find out?
Okay.
But it doesn't seem like the 3 printer staff assistants really have anything to do with the other 2 quotes. So should we go ahead and take action on that one? Because it don't really seem like it has anything to do with these other, if they need printers.
Yeah, and there's no discount applied to those, it doesn't look like.
Right, it's just, yeah, three printers.
Yeah.
So if I'm hearing that we need to buy at least one staff assistant printer at this time, is that right?
Now,
Just go ahead and replace it. Go ahead.
table these 2.
Yeah, we're gonna ask for more information on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then buy the 3 printers on this.
Okay,
For $5,400.
yeah, okay. That motion.
Sure.
Is there a second? Everybody know, so we're saying right now, if everybody agrees, we're gonna table the two big printers, two expensive ones. And then we're gonna, there's a motion on the floor right now to buy the three printers for the staff assistants for a total of $5,393.92.
I'll say,
Everybody good with where we're at on that? Okay, so all those in favor of approving that motion for the staff assistant printers at this time, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passed.
And that means that it's worth the next time I get the bigger one, but we'll, you know, hopefully they haven't used one that
Yeah, so I'll
still be in good shape and, you know.
And we can put it in the book in and. You know,
So, the one in her copier room,
mhm.
mine used is only about 6.
No,
So I think a lot of this, because I went through this when I was at Berkman, a lot of that discount is they take Rico's like suggested retail at 100% markup, right? And say, well, we're not gonna charge you guys. I think that's a lot more of that discount than the trade-in.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So if you take the one you own,
Same
and
discount
make
if
it
you
your
just buy it
secondary, right? A new one that would. Might be an option too.
Okay, sorry, I didn't want to.
yeah,
No, sorry. We got 5 more minutes. Yeah, okay.
all right, we have, you'll see there's a public notice, for asphalt sealing and striping, this is what was put in the newspaper for a month and on social media. And we only got one bid. I met with several companies. I don't know why we didn't get more, because they all came and measured and talked to me and, one thing I will say is I have no idea what's inside of this. But I met with this company and I have talked to them multiple times via email or on the phone. And have asked for 2 or 3 names of places that they have done business for, you know, come work for in Kentucky. And they will not give me any names. They keep giving me a roundabout answer, well, we go all over the state, we've done a lot of them, but there's no, yeah, we done this company, this and this. So I'm gonna hand this to you, and you can open it and do with that what you will.
word it, well,
Campbellsville is what it said.
Yeah. Solution Paving LLC.
So winter.
How long I think I've done that? Okay, so the total, is 30,
There are 2 options. I know when we talked on the phone, he said he was gonna bid a value option and a higher product quality option. I don't know if they did or not.
doesn't look like it.
Okay.
All I see is a lump sum total. In the amount of $33,054.
And that's to pay what?
That's the resale, reline,
Yeah, seal and stripe the entire,
the entire parking lot.
now I think his budget is close to 50. Yeah, that's what I said. I thought the budget was 50.
33,053,
33,054,
54.
even, no sense. Yeah, so it's got everything. I don't know, it's just embedded, the driveways coming in off the main, off corporate drive, it doesn't have those listed, but it's got. The parking lot right out here. It's got the parking lot in between the 2 buildings. And then, where the grill is, where the storage is on the backside of the garage. The loop that goes, into the side of the garage of the, multi-purpose room. And then the parking lot, what is the right way there, around the parking lot around the building. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 areas are identified for a total of 115,121 square feet. And that is for surface prep, filling cracks. Just 300 linear feet of that, asphalt sealer, the entire surface, standard striping, staff parking stencils, ADA markings, directional arrows, hatch lines, and then, traffic control during the project.
What's the name of that company?
Solution payment. LLC.
LLC. So is there any, you said that it was open for bid, you talked to several people with this,
Yeah, I had several companies call, and I had 3 or 4 actually come on site, do a walkthrough with me, and measure, and I gave them a copy again of this public notice, and reminded them the deadline of July 31st, and never received anything else.
solution payment.
So did they come, Barry, did they come, were they the one that came and inspected?
Yeah, this company here,
Yes.
yes, they're the one that I had to walk through with, one of the 3 or 4 companies on the other
Spencer, what was the total square footage?
115,000, 121.
They have a website.
Yeah, they formed in 2024. Well, they're pretty recent.
And the one thing I noticed when I researched them is, and there's paint because in my, I know you gotta pull it up here.
No, they.
There's a lot of scale work.
Yeah.
That's in March of 24, and then didn't post anything again until July of this year.
And they're not specific on where the work is, right? When you
No.
post jobs, let's say we done this for such and such company, it just has a picture of the parking lot.
Yeah.
So that's my personal only concern.
They also have one Google review that they wrote about themselves.
What's that?
So in 2 years, I didn't have any, like any place that they could give you what they done.
I keep, like, multiple times we called, because I kept asking and said, look, our board meeting to move this date. For then, I want at least 2 or 3 names of businesses anywhere in Kentucky that you've done that I can contact.
City's presence.
Yeah.
And I never could, I will email it to you, never did, I called back 3 days later, but it was just kind of a runaway. Every time.
Let's contact the factory across the road and see who did their parking lot just recently.
Oh,
They just did it in the last month.
Maybe they had their new employees do it after hours.
So I did want to share.
They're not in good standing with Secretary of State. They're in bad standing and pending dissolution.
Ah.
And it's registered to Roberto.
No.
Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
Bar. Probably place your tab.
That's who signed the,
Yeah, that's who I went
that's
with.
who signed the bid.
That's the company. So filed, they formed in February 2024, they last filed their annual report in July 2025.
Do you really need any more information?
Mhm.
So can we reopen this for bid, or like they said, reach out to other similar sized entities that have had reselling some like this?
Now, I think we reject that quote and either rebid it or
We need a motion on that, won't we?
Yeah,
To reject that
reject
bid.
it.
and a motion to put it back out.
I'll make a motion that we reject the bid from Solutions Land.
A second.
We'll say the name is weird too, so the paving solutions out of West Virginia, that's the reason I confirmed the name on it, it's just referred, so I kind of help out our too.
We got a motion made and seconded, to reject the bid, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. And then did I hear something about, do we want to open it back up to bid?
Yeah, we got, there's time to do that.
Yeah, we
calendar year.
gotta get it done pretty quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we open it back up for bids.
I'll say.
Motion made and seconded, to open it with, do we need the terms of the, or is that all set?
If you all, do you want the same terms that are listed on this RFP? If you want any changes, then just let me know. No, okay.
Oh, can I see that? The RFP. Do you have all? So just so everybody knows, so we got a motion made and seconded, I acknowledge that. I'll just read what the RFP says, make sure y'all agree with this, and we'll vote. Boyle County Cooperative Extension Service is seeking bids for sealing and striping of all asphalt parking lot areas located at 99 Corporate Drive. All labor and materials and equipment to be provided by the contractor. Contractor must be able to perform work with flexibility in scheduling, including evenings, weekends. Working in sections is needed to allow events and meeting traffic. Desired timeline for work is late summer, early fall, 2026. Boyle County Cooperative Extension Service is acting entity. And then to be considered, we'll put a deadline in place. That sound good to everybody? We just had that as a, we need that in motion or? Yeah, we did. All those in favor of approving the motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right, last one. I'll, looking at the furniture that we have in the office, primarily all the agent offices, because those are original to the first hall building, which was built in 2006, I think. We looked at furniture options from multiple companies for replacing the desk in those 5 offices. And what we came up with after we looked at the different styles and different pricing, and we came up with what we currently have now, it's a different series than what we currently have, but it's from the same company. The original desks were made by the Kentucky Correctional Industries. And what you see in front of you is the quote for replacing those 5 desks with that company, and we would also need the ones that we have. My plan would be the ones that are still fairly decent shape would be to offer to other extension offices. See if anybody else would want them. I think there's only 2 out of 5 that are even remotely decent that I think somebody would want to reuse. The others would just be disposed of as the board for that and for this.
Can you all back on the state surplus?
I believe so.
Okay. Cause they have some of these same ideas that. Built, I believe, by the same company.
Is there a big size difference?
We got some like a year or so ago, and the big executive desk, I know we paid around $1,200 for. And they were solid black and had like a nice wood on them, and they're really nice, but, I'm almost sure that Kentucky Correctional is that kind of.
Where's that surplus at?
Yeah,
Used to be on Spindler, there was used to be a federal one on Spindler, that's pretty good.
well, it's in Frankfurt, state
It's on
surplus.
Chenault Road, I think, in Frankfurt. And we also have UK surplus too. Yeah. But I know some of our offices in the past have got stuff from both of those states.
Chenault Road. Yeah, I'm just, they have some good stuff, but they have some,
Right,
not so good stuff, but you just have to go and look
sort of.
and yeah, but that, they did have some nice discs, actually, we got some schools. Rebuild.
Gary, you said who looked at this furniture? I was just curious.
Myself and the agents.
Okay.
Any pictures?
No, not here. We do have the book back in the office, I don't have copies of it.
Are they all wood?
Yeah,
Not metal, wood. Okay.
and this isn't replacing chairs or anything, it's just, the desk, and then I think we had a couple of, we had some presenters for more storage. And they're all the same series, some of them are a different layout than others, but they're all same series.
What do you think on that?
I mean, is there an option to get some more prices?
So I'll tell you the other option that Barry brought for us to look at came up to 13,000 in office.
Yeah, that's why we ended up.
That's why I was like, I'm
looked
not
at-
taking much on board.
Yeah, we looked at Daniel office equipment. No. We looked at them, and we also looked at,
The same company did these.
yeah, the same company that we bought all the, furniture for all the new meeting rooms. And both those companies were significantly higher than this. Well, and again, this is not a super urgent thing. If we need to, I need to see if there are options, like you said, with surplus, and compare the difference and bring those bids. Finding five, the same matching things, that too, because we're trying to be, I want all the offices to be consistent. Start with the aging offices, and in a few years, maybe work on getting the rest. As they age and.
Where would that be under our budget?
Yeah, how much do they have budgeted for office equipment?
Furniture, paper is 10,000.
How much?
10,000.
That's way over.
Daggone.
Yeah, let's see.
We didn't budget enough.
So without the offices, is this a dire need?
Not a dire need, but a need. I will say that the desks are, especially 3 of the 5 are really pretty rough. They need to be changed with something. I'm not saying it has to be good, but they do need something different.
Looked at 3, we'd be looking at like. If it's not below, the top there would be the 3 then that they'd be replaced with, $5,598.
No,
I was gonna say very complicated.
I think it goes over there.
Is that for?
Signature sheet. And it's exactly what they gotta do. They get them black tops, fill them, and then they get the blue bottom. Yeah. I think that's what we thought.
I'm pretty sure that's what.
Like the surface? Maybe we should check out the surface.
Yeah.
Because it,
Well,
They do.
bad, like, but
I think that's what we do at KDA.
that's
I
insane.
guarantee you
Like
that's what
this.
we do.
They get these black tops.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
They're
what
nice. I mean, they're really nice.
Yeah.
You said those were about 1,200 a piece.
Well, that, they may be more expensive now, that was a year ago, you know.
Oh, okay. Oh, they don't have prices on
Don't see any.
Yeah, so switch laptops in the middle of it. Yeah,
tried to,
yeah, they don't work. And,
no, that's a gun ball.
no.
Can I shut the projector off, turn it back on?
You will wait 10 minutes.
That's what I thought, it's got too long. It's not gonna pick it up. No, it's still-
Yeah.
is what you're looking at there.
And it's that serious.
They're nice. They're real nice.
I think we want to take care of all the staff and agents too, but
Yeah.
can we, so we're not discounting that, but can we look at what options might be out there and our next meeting, have a, just table it for our next meeting?
Yeah, I can get some surplus information on that, and we can compare it to this.
Yeah, we can make it great. For campus and see what surplus is there.
Yeah, they've got these.
You're right, I've seen some really nice stuff. in
Well,
surplus.
If it's these, that's exactly what we got. It was more like a little over $1,200.
We'll just get Casey, some sandbags. Take the rest of it off.
Getting hot. Is it permissible to give Barry and Jay a contingent budget? Cause I know those surplus places, you find it,
You gotta get it.
you better get it.
That's a
It's
good,
not find it and wait to get approval and go back and, cause it's safe.
True.
So like, is it, I don't know if that's allowed or not, to give them a, yes, you can spend this much if you find it.
Do we want to give that freedom then? 10,000 is what's allocated in the budget for furniture. For this budget, for this fiscal year. We want to see what's in that range and give them approval to do that, or up to 10?
Yeah.
Field trip.
Yeah, it should be too. 10,000.
10, yeah, okay. And we need that motion, so, okay, is there a second? Second. All those in favor of approving that, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Passed.
But I think you gotta go.
Yeah, I think we need to get out.
We can skip agent update.
Or if those could happen without me, there won't be any actionable items for those, right?
Correct.
Do we need a quorum if I've got another meeting at 7:30, that's all.
Something that is, darn.
There's nothing, yeah, there's nothing like this. So I can get your signature.
I'll stop by after I drop the kids off in the morning.
Okay.
If you're about 8 o'clock. All right, sorry, you go. Until next meeting.
Very kind.
Agents, real quick. Sir, Greg.
Alright, well, before it, we had a successful camping time, back July 6th weekend. We took 145 campers and adults total. It was a blast, it rained a lot, but it was still a blast, we had a great time. Now we're about to start our new program, which is September 1st. So we're in the process of planning, programming. We have several new clubs, several existing clubs. And so we're filling those with volunteers, starting to hopefully publicize very soon, what we have planned for, but we're very excited.
Katie, why don't you talk about how you guys have kind of met and talked about splitting up the responsibilities?
So we met with Mike Meyer, don't know if y'all know who that is, but he is one of our state officers that helps with our programming. He came down and sat with us and talked over how we can split our 7 core program areas. So, some of them will be doing it together. So for agriculture, we work down into livestock and science. There goes to be other livestock, I'll do the animal science. I'll be over communications, expressive arts, SES, health and well-being. Sarah Grace will be over leadership, natural resources, and STEM. And then we'll both do campus state fair and then I'll do both things. So that's how we kind of divided up our programming. We are currently in touch with all the schools, getting us into all schools and doing our visits there. And then we have state fair, taking entries next Monday. So that's all I really got.
So let me address the schools just a little bit. They've met with all the schools, all the agents are gonna be involved with the schools.
Yeah.
So, it kind of started, Dakota, Gates came to me from Danvers schools and we toured them, I toured around, we got all the principals and everything. And I was able to, tell them that we have more than just 4-H. And they were very interested in seeing some ag projects, some FCS projects, some horse projects. So they've all 5 agents have kind of picked out some things that they can present in the schools. It's exciting, to see. Hannah?
Well, I'm just getting started here. I am really excited. Previously, the past almost 3 years, I was in Woodford County as their FCS agent. So it was nice to be able to come in and have an idea of what I wanted to do. I'm really excited to get in the kitchen over here because I didn't have a teaching kitchen like this. So I'm really excited about that. I've got lunch and learns planned and Laugh and Learn, which is a preschool readiness program. I want to start a bingo size here, which I love as well. So I've gone to a couple places out in the community to introduce myself, but not everywhere yet. So I really want to just tell them who I am and what I can offer and see how we can best partner. So if you all have any ideas or any thoughts, or you see a need that I can help you meet, please let me know. So for horticulture, we've gone through a few different, playing classes this summer, and then we have a few classes coming up one next week, seed saving. I'm bringing in a garlic producer, that sells at the Boyle County Farmers Market. He's gonna teach a class of growing garlic and the fall plant and seed swap and some different floral design classes coming up to utilize a new flower cooler. Jessica from Mercer County, she's a horticulture agent over there, and myself are going to do a master gardener class starting next February. So sign up starts for the month of August. And so if anybody's interested, please sign up. And
What does that involve?
so Master Gardener Program is a volunteer program through Extension. So we go through a 12-week educational programming with you guys, get you guys educated. That way you all can go out into the schools, into the nursing homes or whatever it is, community gardens, and you can help me teach classes or head up.
They cover all different areas. They'll cover entomology, they'll cover soil science, they'll cover
Oh, wow.
a multitude of
Is that
12 weeks or something.
What's a week class?
10 a.m. on Thursday. So it's a 12-week class, and we have a few extra days saved, just in case, as it's in February, until May. So there will be a few weather delays probably, and possibly spring break. So
Is it a 1 or 2 hour class?
1 hour. And you have, yes, ma'am. And then you also have to have 40 hours of volunteer hours.
Wow.
So it's pretty intense, but
Yeah.
it is, everyone I know who's been through it and really loved it.
Yeah.
But they really did. And also, the agents are putting together a fall festival, October 23rd, starting at 6 p.m. here at the office. This will be sort of like a trick-or-treating type of thing, but also we want to have it more educational instead of just a candy passer out event. So we're all gonna have different stations, hopefully around the walking trail. And if you guys would like to be involved as the district board, we would love to have you guys out. I know the Farm Bureau's Women's Committee, they're gonna come and set up a booth, and Casey's gonna approach Farm Bureau tonight about them coming out, and you know, and all of us are gonna bring in our own like program area partnership organizations and clubs. So if you guys would like to participate, please let us know and we can stick you in different areas. And I have a flyer, just if you guys want to take one home, but let us know if you're interested. Also, we are also doing a extension open house December 7th from 5 to 7 here in the office as well. Since we all are new, this will be a great time for the public to come out and to meet us, to talk about our programs that we have to offer. So, I know other offices, they have a very active district board and CEC, and this is a good way if you guys want to get involved. We can have we're also inviting our partnerships to come and participate as well if they would like to. So if you guys would like to come, we could plug you in, like maybe to help serve the finger foods, or at least man the table. That way us agents can stay at our own tables and to talk to the public. So you all can think about it. We have some time, but, we would love for you all to participate if you would like to.
I would love it.
The October fest, you become the costume.
Yes, please dress up for the Halloween.
That fall festival is the 20th, 23rd.
23rd.
Okay.
I don't know, Casey's been really busy. She had a big farm safety day planned, and a couple days before it was to go, the main safety guy from KDA passed away. And so, so Dale passed away, and it was a great loss to the state. And so that got postponed. But she's been hard at work, she's made all kinds of farm calls, and, it hit the ground running, so we're pleased with that.
So does she have an ag safety day, or is that already happened?
But
Ag safety day? That's what.
that's what we saw, they postponed, yeah.
Floral Hall was a big success.
Laurel Hall was huge.
Absolutely fabulous. I mean, Casey and Caitlin, I came in and really, I didn't think so. She spearheaded it beautifully, and I thought it's set up really well for next year because of them. So we're very grateful. And then these two had a ton of 4-H entries, which was really cool. And we put the 4-H entries next to the open entries with kind of what they mirrored. So the home decor was with the home decor, and the art was with the art. And so you could see both rather than just, I'm just gonna go look at the parade, or I'm just gonna go look at open. You were able to look at everything. It was really, really vintage. And we also decided to move Floral Hall back to the fair week. That's going to hurt my plant vegetables, but that's okay. We'll bring in something else, so make up for that.
No, why was, I'm just curious, why was that?
Why did we move it back? I think the fair board would like us to, and, July is just a busy month for agents, and, we just decided to know why.
So it was a fair board request.
It kind of, yes.
Okay.
Casey sits on the fair board, so
Okay.
we have her ear through them, and, we just decided, why separate the two, because you lose the foot traffic. And so hopefully, we'll make it better.
Maybe we'll have a building.
We're open.
Fingers crossed.
Alright. The next item is, next meeting date, but let me, before we go there, I've had some requests and asked if a new meeting, and we don't have to have a new meeting every time, but would a new meeting work for?
Depends on what day of the week it is. It's gonna be on the same Monday,
If it be on the, yeah,
and that is the second Monday, or
first Monday of the month.
first Monday.
Of September.
That's Labor Day.
Oh, okay, like that's later day.
So you won't do it on every day.
No.
So it'd be on October 5th. Next. Well, here's the thing, we start this at 5:30 and it's already 20 to 8. So it's not gonna just be a noon meeting. It's gonna be a,
Right, no, that would, and I had that discussion. if I see that it's like a light agenda,
Mhm.
because we've had meetings that's just lasted an hour. But, you know, if I, like tonight would not work for, and I knew that going in. But occasionally we have a light agenda where it's just a few things to talk about that we could do in an hour. And we could cook lunch and serve you lunch and
Now listen.
take care of some business, and Hannah could show off her cooking skills and so forth. So
Well, the only concern I have is,
Yeah.
where in the world you're gonna be?
yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, I'm usually, cause I gotta go home and feed every night, so, no. not every night. But I mean,
Yeah, we have to talk.
you know, most of your district board members are working. So that would be why I don't have.
And you have to come in from Jesup County.
Well, Mercer, but yeah,
Mercer.
I'll be traveling sometime too, so. And that October 5th, I know that's Boyle County small grade account that matters. I've got kids, so I think I'll be on that week. If that matters.
Yeah, Lincoln County small breaks that week too.
That's the only drawback I would have. I can always. But what I try to do is when I schedule appointments here in Danville, I either try them early in the morning, first thing in the morning, or after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I can, because I go to Franklin most of the time.
Okay, I just wanted to throw that out there. To see what everybody kind of thinks. All right, next meeting day. Do we want to try and have a meeting September 14th? And we'll have maybe some parking lot quotes and some desk quotes and,
September 14th is whenever Beth wanted to do the animal science meeting group.
Mhm.
That's from 5 to 7.
Yeah. That's what, we're gonna try to meet twice a month on Mondays.
On Mondays.
So. I thought we met on Tuesdays.
no, we can.
It's always one.
Always been the first Monday. Do you want to keep that schedule?
Think we need to, probably.
Okay. Yeah, September 7th is the first, that's Labor Day. The 14th. What, October? If we skip September, go to October. Like I said, October 5th is fall break for everybody. I know October 12th. I'm probably gone.
If we got those bids before then, we can have the September meeting and then skip October.
If we do a late September meeting, like September 21st,
Yeah, that's what, as long as I get close to a month, have that out, after hours.
Yeah. September's horrible, but that's just me.
What day did you say, Jay?
the 21st or the 28th of September.
I'm available.
28th was gonna be your first official meeting of animal
Right.
science.
We may have to change that.
We can change it if you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Well, if the 21st works,
21st doesn't work for me.
it does not work for you.
No, mission trip,
Well, going back to that first date, that,
14th.
yeah, that,
14th would work.
we would just have
So
to,
we have to do.
we'd have to rearrange some of that.
Yeah,
We can do that, we can do that.
we can do that, yeah.
We can just switch those 2 days. Is that gonna give you that time, Gary?
That'd be a month. I mean,
We were ahead of one.
that'd be 30 days.
Yeah, well, they won't hit the paper next week, but,
Yeah.
even by our call first thing in the morning, it won't hit, so.
What about the
But
28th?
it'd be close enough, I think we can, go to the question on social media.
So we'll be.
Beth can't make the 28th, but if we have enough here, it's hard to find
No, the 21st.
She can't do the 21st. She can do the 20th.
But, okay, September 28th,
That's for the board meeting, right?
board meeting, September 28th.
They were
Then we
talking
won't
about
have one
different
in
things,
October,
right?
right?
Right.
And then we may not have to have one in October.
Should have been that late.
Because we've got, you know, we've got the fall festival and everything else going in October. We can talk about that on the 28th.
And,
September 28th, 5:00.
Saturday. You still cook if you want to. You listen to me, not to me, yeah.
She made the heck of a bologna sandwich.
Yeah. Friday, on Friday.
She did it.
One day you want to come to this report on the rest.
Yeah, let's look at that.
Come on, 25th of August. The fourth, or 15th. Now the 8th of September.
Well, I've got 45 days.
Yeah,
Okay,
September the 11th is your contact.
September the 11th, then you just come on the 8th then. If you don't come on this one, 5th.
I am. I could be the state fair.
The 25th of August is that the Thursday?
No, it's a Tuesday.
No, that's Tuesday. There's a big, huge, science.
Let's do it on the 25th. I'll just be there on 25th.
August 25th.
August 25th. What we doing? This is board. Thank you. So, okay. What was that, 9:30?
9 o'clock
9 o'clock.
when it started.
Okay. I'll drive the space for all.
No, I should be on that.
Did we pass the minutes?
We do. Somebody was taking notes.
I already emailed you that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Do we need a motion to adjourn?
It's time to fight, Eric.
Yeah.
It's time to fight.
I make a motion to adjourn.
That's it.
All in favor, all in favor. All right.
Yeah.
Good job, Barry.
Yeah, that gives us time. Feel good. Yeah.